countdown to blast off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Theater. Blood-Rah, good! Welcome.
Ah, my lords and ladies, geeks, geekerellas, geekulas, and geekeritas. I am Lord Blood-Rah, and this is Lord Blood-Rah's Nerve-Wrackin Theater. And once again tonight, we turn our attention from the big screen to the small screen, as we present to you episodes of TV series long gone, but hardly forgotten. TV series that chilled the blood of generations past. Tonight, it's Tremulous TV 3. And we kick off Tremulous TV 3 with two tales of appearances and disappearances. Two stories that are said to be based on true events. First, a story about a strange phenomena that appeared in the skies over a California town. And then a story of a miraculous invention and its elusive inventor. My lords and ladies, here from the TV series One Step Beyond is the episode, Where Are They?
Bureaus of missing persons in every city in the world list thousands of odd and unexplained disappearances. But in the literature of psychic phenomena, there are two sudden appearances that are perhaps as strange and as perplexing as anything that ever happened on this earth. One of them occurred in the town of Chico, in California's Sacramento Valley. The date was March 17th. 1922. It began with something as commonplace and as ordinary as these pieces of granite, sandstone, marble, shale, quartz. Ordinary pieces of rock and stone. Or are they?
Yes, sir, that'll be in this week's paper. We're printing it up tonight. Just as soon as... Just a minute, Mr. Stroud. Hurry!
You'll be sure to stand on the porch roof. Here they come again! Frank! 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 Guess that's it for today. Is he all right? Yeah, I think he's just knocked out.
Like the others, they're warm.
Right on schedule, 3 o'clock. We'd better get him over to Doc Stanley.
Oh, my goodness. Mr. Stroud, please forgive me. Mr. Stroud? How's Frank?
He'll be all right.
Harry, have you told the marshal yet about what you did?
Well, there's no sense getting him riled ahead of time.
You know, when all those people start arriving in town, he's going to go sky high, Harry.
Joe Tomlinson's just worried about looking foolish in front of outsiders about not being able to stop this. Or not being able to find out who or what's been doing.
And all those big city newspaper people writing it up, we're going to look pretty foolish. Whole world's going to have a great big horse laugh at us.
Maybe. Maybe this is something important that the whole world ought to know about. Jenny, our business is news. However it turns out, it'll still be news.
Are you going to meet them?
2:30 tomorrow.
Joe Tomlinson won't like it.
Joe Tomlinson doesn't like anything.
Is this the place they come down, Mr. Cole?
For the last 3 days, yes. But you still don't believe me, do you?
Oh, I imagine there's some stones coming from somewhere. I just don't think you're foolish enough to believe there's anything strange about it.
You think this is a hoax, too?
Well, let's say I'll have to be shown. Folks in Los Angeles like to read about this sort of thing, so whatever happens, I'll write about it, but I'll write the truth, Mr. Cole.
Very good, Mr. Cole. You've got a fine sense of theater. All the props in the right places at the right time. Listen to this, Bradley. Harry Cole, editor, Chico Chronicle. Dear sir, this is to inform you that I am the one who's been causing the stones and rocks to fall on Chico. To prove it, I will make them fall again tomorrow at exactly 3 o'clock and exactly where they fell today. And since I have repealed the law of gravity, I will have some of them float down from the sky. And sign the Ghost. It's rather amateur theatricals, I'm afraid, Mr. Cole. The Ghost.
In the past 10 months, many people have come forward claiming to know who or what was responsible. Now, many of them were anonymous.
Well, now you've got your answer. It's a ghost.
I assume there are cranks all over the world, Mr. Towers, even in San Francisco. I merely thought, as a newspaper man, gathering information on a story, you would be interested in seeing that note.
Oh, I'm interested. I'm very interested, Mr. Cole, to see just how far you'll go to try to sell us this bill of goods.
I'm not sure how they do things in the big city. But here, while I try to approach gathering news with a healthy skepticism, I hope I do it without arrogance or a smart-alecky know-it-all attitude.
Very well put, Mr. Cole. Don't you think so, Towers?
So you got visitors, Harry?
Hi, Joe. It's the town marshal, gentlemen, Mr. Joseph Tomlinson. This is Mr. Towers of the San Francisco...
Yeah, I know who they are.
You don't seem very happy to see us here, Marshal.
No, I'm not. I think this is strictly a local affair. It's nobody else's business.
How do you know that, Marshal?
What?
Well, I mean, unless you know who or what is responsible, how do you know it is local?
What else can it be?
Well, I'm sure you've been trying to find out for the past 10 months.
Sure, naturally.
Now, Chico isn't a very large town. If somebody is launching stones with some sort of catapult, I'm sure you'd have discovered him by now.
If it's really happening. Don't you see, Bradley? It couldn't be anything else. There are no hills around here.
Those stones come straight down from nowhere.
Sure they do.
Where's the highest spot in town, Marshal?
The roof of Torrey's warehouse up on High Street.
Can we go up there?
Certainly.
Well, that's where I want to be at 3 o'clock. With field glasses. That's Harry Call's place, huh?
Yeah.
And the stones have fallen there for the last 3 days, huh?
Right in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, they could easily have been thrown from here with some sort of machine. Couldn't they?
Mr. Bradley, let me tell you something. For the last 10 months, those rocks have fallen just about every place in this town. At all sorts of different hours, day and night. And plenty of those times I've been right here with those glasses. But like Call said, they always fall straight down.
It's almost 3 o'clock, Mr. Towers.
Just a minute or so by my watch.
Well, they at least come in under the porch roof.
No, sir. This I want to see from beginning to end.
There. There, Mr. Bradley, a little more to your left. Up there.
They are. They're falling from an empty sky.
They're floating.
Do you love horror, science fiction, B-movies, horror hosts, old-time radio, just plain spooky stuff? Then you should sign up at patreon.com/Lord Blood-Rah. You'll be supporting the production of Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Theater, presenting the best, worst, and wildest horror films ever made. Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Auditorium, featuring the best of old-time radio horror. Captain Paxar's Star Cadet Hour, showing classic 1950s sci-fi shows for Star Cadets of all ages. Plus, you'll get exclusive access to bonus content like Behind the Curtains of the Wrackin Auditorium, a deep dive into radio horror. Lord Blood-Rah's B-movie reviews, a look at a classic low-budget drive-in feature, and much more. Sign up today at patreon.com/Lord Blood-Rah for the love of horror.
How much Jack do you think's in that strong rock?
There's plenty of Cuban sugar, though.
Here's what happened. The general beat his friend Castro to the Cuban treasury. The strongbox is now on this boat. So are a deported American gangster and his moll. And lurking in the depths is the creature from the haunted sea.
You're a crazy mixed-up kid.
I am perfectly adjusted to my life of crime.
Don't worry, Mary Bell. I'll save you.
It's all right. Be calm, everybody. The boat's insured.
Beware. The creature from the haunted sea.
Rocks falling from the sky over Chico, California, and a letter from someone calling themselves the Ghost, taking responsibility for it. How? Why? Who? I have no idea. Do you have anything further to add, Mr. Newland?
The man who wrote this note, who signed himself the Ghost, was never heard from again. However, a young man who had come to Chico 10 months before, and who had been the subject of much conversation because of his odd behavior, disappeared suddenly on the same day. A nationwide search was made for him, but no trace of him or his invention was ever found. Who was he? Or perhaps, what was he? Because from the New York Times, printed in 1878, 44 years before the barrage of rocks began over Chico. On the 29th of August, a great number of small fish fell from the sky on the town of Chico, California, covering the roof of a store and falling in the streets over an area of several acres. They fell from a cloudless sky and were both freshwater and ocean varieties. And from the Monthly Weather Review of March 1885, a large object of very hard material weighing several tons, but defying analysis, fell from the sky in the town of Chico, California. Now, was the ghost, whoever or whatever he was, or is, responsible for all the strange goings-on in the sky over Chico? It certainly would be fascinating to find out. Just as it would be fascinating to find out more about a man named Charles Elton. The year was 1917. The place, just outside the private residence of a cabinet member of the United States government in Washington, D.C. Charles Elton, if that really was his name, chose to make an appearance here in a most unorthodox manner. But then he proved to be a most unorthodox individual.
Your office, Mr. Secretary?
No, there's a meeting at the State Department, 8:45. It's nearly that now, but let's not break any cross-town speed records.
No, sir. I'm afraid you won't be able to leave just yet, Mr. Secretary. Who are you and what do you want?
Just to show the Secretary something of great importance.
Well, you better get out of here fast.
Sir, you have a reputation for being a reasonable man. I'm sure you can see if you will notice this car is in no condition to take you anywhere. So you might as well let me fix it.
Fix it? There isn't a gasoline station around for at least a mile.
Which is precisely why I chose to empty your gasoline tank here. Mr. Secretary, please forgive my methods. But after waiting in your outer office 4 days in vain...
There may be enough gasoline in the lines to get to a gas station.
Carter, you'd best go and telephone for a taxicab.
Maybe I better call the police.
No, I'll be all right.
Yes, sir.
I thought your face was familiar.
Excuse me, sir.
Where are you going?
Just to get your garden hose.
Hose? Here, what are you doing?
Fixing it so you can drive to the State Department.
Great Scott, man, you'll ruin the motor with water.
Just water, yes.
Well, do you think I sprinkle my lawn with gasoline?
Mr. Secretary, please, relax. I assure you I'm not harming your high-powered engine in any way. There. That ought to do it. There's the little beauty. So, now for a moment to allow for the effervescence to distribute the chemical throughout the water. And then, you'll want to watch this, Mr. Secretary. I pump it to get some of my mixture up into the carburetor. Get in, Mr. Secretary. I'll have you at the State Department in 3 minutes. I'm a very careful driver, sir.
Where did you get the gasoline, Mr. Secretary?
Oh, from the garden hose. Naturally.
Pardon, sir?
Cancel the taxi cab.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mr.
Good
Secretary.
evening, Commander. Good evening, gentlemen.
Secretary?
Nice to see you. Gentlemen, this is Mr. Charles Elton. Commander Phillips, Colonel Willis, Mr. Garner. Each an expert in his own field. Mr. Elton, gentlemen, may very possibly have made the most important discovery since the development of the internal combustion engine. If he has what he appears to have, it would, to say the very least, accelerate the growth of world economy at an unprecedented rate, and aid greatly in giving the Allied war machine complete and overwhelming superiority.
Where is this miracle, sir?
Right here. I'm not surprised that you wonder, gentlemen. I could very well have been duped, but that's why we're here, to find out. Is that the engine, Commander?
Yes, sir.
Now, you're absolutely certain that the tank is empty, and that it has never at any time contained any fuel whatsoever.
Absolutely, sir.
Good. Colonel, did you get the water?
Oh, yes, Mr. Secretary.
But where did you get it?
I picked it up at the corner grocery store, sir.
Oh, fine. Now, is there a clean glass handy?
Oh, yes, sir. Right here.
Good, thank you. Would you pour some water in here, please, Colonel? Colonel, have a drink. What's it taste like?
Like water, sir.
Just plain, ordinary water, nothing added?
I'm sorry to say not, as far as I can tell.
Mr. Garner.
Just water?
Commander, how long to run an analysis on this?
Half a minute.
Good. Mr. Garner, is there anything at all unusual about this engine?
No, it's just a plain automobile engine.
Mm-hmm. Commander?
I can tell better after they sit a while, sir. But so far, it's just good old H2O.
Fine. Well, Miss Elton, stage is yours.
Thank you, sir.
What are you doing?
Just protecting myself, Mr. Secretary.
So, Mr. Elton's fizzy fuel, huh? I don't know. I mean, it looked like it worked in the secretary's car there, but I still think it's too good to be true. It's like laundry that does itself, or chocolate cake that isn't fattening, or TV shows without commercials. Yeah, I know they have those now, but not this one.
Old Time Radio. Horror. Experience the subtle magic of old-time radio horror every week with Lord Blood-Rah's nerve-wracking auditorium. Chilling audio nightmares from radio classics like Lights Out, The Witch's Tale, Dark Fantasy, and many more. Available on YouTube and most podcast providers. Lord Blood-Rah's nerve-wracking auditorium. Please leave your eyes at the door. You will not need them.
Larry!
From the exotic geisha houses of Tokyo to the back alleys of the Ginza Strip, comes the terrifying news of a fiendish creature that threatens to destroy all who stand in his way. This is the frightening story of an American reporter in Tokyo who unwittingly became the victim of a shocking scientific experiment that turned him into a horrible mutant, half man, half monster, the Manster.
What happened?
He got away.
I think I know where he's going, to Taurus. Follow me.
Right.
There's panic in the streets as the unheard of terror of a half man, half monster runs wild through the city.
There he goes!
Don't miss The Manster, a genuine thriller in the most frightening sense of the word.
As we return to One Step Beyond and the episode Where Are They?, we find out once and for all if water can be turned into gasoline.
Just enough to prime it and run the engine for about a minute. One provision, Mr. Secretary.
Yes?
You must permit me to consume every drop of the fuel. Well, sir, all the elements I use can be found on this planet. And perhaps some very clever chemist, after some hard work, might succeed in making an analysis. Then I would no longer have a secret, would I? And therefore nothing to sell.
Yes, I see what you mean. Very well, you have my word.
Very well, gentlemen. Someone can start the engine.
Mr. Garner?
But, Mr. Secretary, if you'll forgive me, there can only be one possible result. Water vapor and an internal combustion engine are incompatible. You'll simply ruin a perfectly good engine.
That is a risk that I feel we can afford.
Very well.
Well, gentlemen, what do you say?
There's only one thing you can say. It's impossible. It completely defies the whole theory of internal combustion.
Well, unless I'm dreaming, this will do everything you said it would.
Unless we're all dreaming the same dream. Well, how much do you want for your formula?
$10 million.
Mr. Garner, you're employed in private industry. How much do you think he could get for this on the open market?
Well, if it's what it seems to be, and can be produced cheaply, I guess there is no ceiling.
That's a very good point. How much would it cost to produce this marvelous pill of yours?
For a pill that will convert 10 gallons of water into 10 gallons of high-grade fuel,
Less than 2 cents.
You guarantee that?
Make the deal contingent upon it.
That's fair enough. I, of course, can't commit our government to a project of this magnitude on my own responsibility, but, well, I feel certain that we'll have no difficulty in getting what you want. Now, if you wouldn't mind just waiting in the other room for a moment, there's some things I'd like to discuss with these gentlemen.
Not at all.
I'll be with you in a very few moments.
Take your time, Mr. Secretary.
Well, gentlemen, I'm not an expert on these matters. I leave that to you, but I know I'd hate to present this matter to the president and have it explode in my face.
Well, nobody's an expert on that stuff, except your Mr. Elton.
You took every possible precaution, sir. I know one thing. There was no drop of fuel of any kind in that engine until he poured his mixture in.
Mr. Garner? You're a very cautious man. Would you care to express an opinion?
Man enough to be a complete fool to believe what we just saw. But I believe it. There's no other choice.
Well, gentlemen, that's good enough for me. Mr. Elton, I'm glad to... Mr. Elton? Mr. Elton? He's gone.
And he was gone. He had completely vanished. The FBI and the Secret Service for many, many months searched for Charles Elton. They checked every hotel and rooming house in Washington. They interviewed every Charles Elton in America. They took his fingerprints from the laboratory, and they checked them and compared them against every conceivable source. But not one shred of evidence was ever found to prove that such a man even existed. And of course, to this day, no one can even imagine how he managed to make gasoline from water. His secret, like the secret of the ghost who worked his magic in Chico, California, continues to elude our best scientific minds. We may never discover who these men were. Where are they?
Well, thanks for nothing, Charles. You prove that water can be turned into gasoline and then you just disappear. What's the deal? And you know what? It's 2014. Why can't we make water into gasoline? I want my gasoline pill, my jetpack, and my robot housekeeper right now. You big brains out there, get on that, will you? You know, it's true. The future just ain't what it used to be. But now, let's have a look at what the future used to be. Prepare yourselves for high adventure in deep space with Commander Buzz Corey and the Space Patrol. Tonight's thrilling adventure sees Buzz troubled with strange visions of danger, death, and the laughing alien.
Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. Brought to you by the Checkered Super Cereals, Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston.
Where's Happy? I don't know. There was a fire. At least I thought there was out in the corridor. When I ran out, came back in here, Hap was gone.
I should have anticipated it.
Anticipated what?
You, Robbie, you're seeing images too. Stand by for exciting action on Space Patrol in just one moment.
Hi, gang. Commander Corey reporting from the experimental lab. Ever see a portable power generator? Here's one. To generate power, it needs fuel. Well, let's put some in. Press the control button and see what happens. Sounds pretty weak, doesn't it? Could be the fuel I used. So this time, let's try super fuel. Listen to that power now. Supercharging does it. And gang, when you roll out of bed in the mornings, you're like a generator, too. You need fuel. Haven't had any for about 12 hours. But listen, don't settle for ordinary fuel. Get supercharged like I do with a good breakfast. Eat the super cereals and the checkerboard packages. And now, come in, Jack Nars.
Hi, gang. Here are 2 of the super checkerboard cereals. Bite-sized rice Chex and wheat Chex. Yes, modern bite-sized design for super easy eating. No wonder space patrollers get a charge out of Chex. This is rice Chex, bite-sized shredded rice, triple toasted. And here's wheat Chex, bite-sized shredded wheat, baked crisper than a cracker. Super power in every bite. Remember, gang, pulling up to your breakfast table is just like pulling into a filling station. So get supercharged like your commander said. Pick up your cereal bowl and say,
"Fill her up, Mom. Wheat Chex. Fill her up, Mom. Rice Chex."
Attention, Star Cadets! This is Captain Paxar of the Interdimensional Peace Force speaking. All Star Cadets are ordered to report every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Earth Pacific Standard Time to these internet coordinates, where you will be sent on a daring mission through time, space, and alternate dimensions, alongside such classic retro sci-fi heroes as Flash Gordon, Captain Zero, Tom Corbett's Space Cadet, Space Angel, and many others. Again, report to these internet coordinates every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Earth Pacific Standard Time for Captain Paxar's Star Cadet Hour. And always remember, Star Cadets, keep the peace.
Dance, baby, dance, come and dance with me. Hear the beat of the pounding sea. Ride, baby, ride, come and ride with me. Let your feet go easy.
What do you make of this?
Where does the other end go?
It dumps into the ocean.
It looks exactly like the South American Fantigua fish. I hope you can take one alive, Sheriff.
I still believe that a human clawed that girl to death.
The Beach Girls and the Monster, starring John Hall, Sue Casey, and the glamorous Watusi dancing girls from Hollywood's famed Whiskey A Go-Go nightclub. Music by Frank Sinatra Jr.
You got a monster in the surf.
Chicks, do you have a problem? You won't have after you meet the monster on the beach. If you see this ghoul, play it cool. Beauties in bikinis, laughing, singing, surfing, sinning. Beach party lovers making hey-hey in the moonlight while the monster waits and watches. Yeah. This one will kill you.
Returning from a routine tour of inspection of the far-flung units of the Space Patrol, Commander Corey flies his battlecruiser Terra 5 back to its home port, Terra.
Look. Where? Out there in space. I don't see anything.
Are you sure?
What's the matter? What's the matter?
I don't know.
What do you see?
Happy.
Happy? Out there?
Yes, out there.
Commander, are you all right, sir?
Can't you see it, Robbie?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm afraid I don't see anything.
This is ridiculous, sir. I look out there, straight ahead. I see. Hey, wait, now it's changed. It isn't Happy anymore, it's somebody else.
Who is it, sir?
I don't know. I never saw him before.
Look, sir, are you sure you see him this time?
Yes, Robbie, I'm positive. Robbie, I know it sounds like I'm space happy. Right now, I don't know why I see the images and you don't, but I did see them.
Right, strange, sir. What does it mean?
It gives me a strange feeling. A feeling that Happy's in serious danger.
Hello? Hello? Anybody there? Oh, there you are. About time.
Call Cadet Happy's quarters right away. That's right. Yes. You sure? All right, thank you.
Commander. Commander, what's the matter? Look, if you don't mind my saying so, sir, you've been acting sort of strange.
Yes, I expect I won't. Anything I can do? Robbie, I saw it again.
Oh?
Yes, this time Happy was in a ship that crashed.
Crashed?
And I saw the face again.
Same one?
Yes, it was laughing.
Look, Commander, I called the front desk. They said Hap left early this morning. They haven't heard from him since. Have you found him, sir?
No, that's what worries me. I can't seem to shake this feeling of danger that something's going to happen to him, or maybe already has.
Oh, welcome back, Commander.
Happy.
Major? Huh?
It is. What? It's really you.
It is? Oh, I mean, sure it is. Who'd you expect?
Oh, am I glad to see you?
We are? Well, I mean, thanks. I'm glad to see you. Well, what's going on?
Well, I'm not sure. I think I've got an idea how we can solve this thing.
What thing, sir?
Robbie will tell you. Meet me in 15 minutes.
Where, sir?
The brainograph room.
What's going on around here, Major?
You got me, Hap. It seems the commander's been seeing things.
Things, sir?
Yeah, you mostly.
Me?
You're a guy who laughs.
I still don't get it.
Hap, when was the last time the commander was checked at the medical center?
I don't blame you two for thinking I'm a little space happy, but there's got to be an answer to this. I can remember that face very well. So while the brainograph records the image, I want you to make photographic prints.
You want us to make a photograph of the image?
Yes, I do.
But why, Commander? Maybe this guy doesn't even exist.
That's what I want to find out. Let's go.
Got it, Hef. Turn it off.
Right.
Oh, good.
I still don't see what you're going to do with that, sir.
Now, what this man brought in for questioning. Robbie, send out an all-planets bulletin. See that this picture is transmitted on all interplanetary telecharts immediately. Give it a priority 1.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and Robbie, stay here with Hap.
Me, sir?
Don't let him out of your sight.
Right.
Still think his life may be in danger.
Major, did the commander just say that he thought my life would be in danger?
You heard right, Hap.
But that's silly, Major. Isn't it?
Let's get out that APB. I'd like to talk to this guy myself.
Well, yeah, but you... Hey, wait for me, Major.
Attention, all Space Patrol units. Priority 1. This man is wanted for questioning. Identity unknown. If apprehended, communicate with headquarters Terra at once. Repeat, all units. Priority 1. This man is wanted for questioning. Identity unknown. Communicate headquarters at once.
You know, Hap, I don't think we're going to see our man of mystery after all. It's been 48 hours, not one unit's called in.
Well, gee, Major, maybe such a guy doesn't even exist.
Yeah, that's what worries me.
You mean you're worried about the commander?
There's nothing wrong with a little space fatigue that a rest won't cure, but...
You think it might be something worse, sir?
This thing about seeing things that aren't there.
Yeah, and this feeling that he has about me being in danger. Smoking rockets, why should I be in danger right here on Terra?
Robbie, any reports in the APBs?
Not a word, sir.
It's been 48 hours, too.
Yes, I know. In that time, our units could check the ID of every citizen in the United Planets.
That's what we were thinking.
Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe there isn't any such...
Commander, what's the matter?
My name is Muzak. I understand you have been looking for me.
He waited, and he waited, and he waited. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Even the clock felt bad, because Jump and Jupiter, every minute seemed like an hour. This boy thought his mom would never come home from the store. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Uh-oh, that was the kitchen door. Mom's home at last. He didn't waste any time. He tore open the grocery bag, and there they were, the new packages of rice checks and wheat checks. Everybody's happy now, including the clock. Here's the reason. See what's inside of those new packages of checks? A magic space picture. Tell the gang all about them, Johnny. I'm going to have myself some of these delicious checks.
Fix me something too, Captain Norris. I need supercharging.
Right, Cadet?
Gang, these magic space pictures are terrific. Now that I have these two new ones, I have the whole set of 24. You just stare at them like this a while, and then you look up at the sky or at a wall. And zowie, the magic really goes to work, because way up in the sky you see a great big picture. Look at that! Think I've seen a big picture like that floating around on your room. It looks so real you'll think it's Buzz Corey himself.
Remember, there are 24 different magic space pictures. Buzz Corey, Cadet Happy, Major Robertson, rockets, jet cars, ray guns, and lots of others. So start today and collect a whole set of 24. Here are the packages to have your mom bring home. Rice checks and wheat checks, with Buzz Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside and the magic space picture on the inside.
So who is this strange alien? And what does he have to do with Commander Corey's hallucinations? And what's up with this creepy clock?
From ancient Genesis to the modern screen, is the name written in blood. Ega!
If I could just call you on the phone. The code of the ghost at the sign of the toad. Nobody lives on the Brownsville Road.
Thrill to the newest recording star, Arturo Jr.
Oh, they scream in this way.
See ravishing Marilyn Manning in a thrilling, chilling story. The last of the prehistoric giants sees his first girl. Noah. And Curious newsmen search deep in giant country for the last of the ancient cavemen. See a tough giant tamed by the soft hands of his captive woman. See him sacrifice his ageless beard for her love. Then lose her to a boy in a dune buggy, escaping a burning desert. Ega's primitive passion was love or kill. Hear Ega talk, the ancient language of love, used at the beginning of time. See Ega!
As we return to Space Patrol, the laughing alien has turned himself in, apparently to give us all a lesson in mugging and overacting.
And now back to Space Patrol.
Come in, gentlemen. You look rather silly just standing there.
Your name is Muzak?
Is that your first one, Commander Corey?
First one?
Your first question. I understand you wanted to question me.
Yes, you understand it correctly.
Well, proceed. What is it you want to know?
Who are you?
I already answered the first question. Now, is there anything else you wish to know?
Can you think of any reason why an image of your face should appear to me out of nowhere?
An image? I don't remember that you ever saw me before.
I haven't. That's what makes it so strange that I should see your face.
Perhaps, Commander, you should visit your doctor.
Look, Commander, we're not getting any place with this character. Why don't we put him on the brainograph? Maybe we'll get a couple of answers. You know we can't do that, Robbie. No crime has been committed.
Not yet, anyway. That brainograph of which you speak, it reads the mind, huh?
You know it does. And you also know we can't use it without evidence. That's invasion of privacy.
All right, what's so funny? Look, if you have anything up your sleeve, we'll find out about it, even without the brain peeper.
Quite. To the contrary, I would like you to use this brainograph on me.
What?
I think I will quite be amused with your little toy.
Toy? Oh, you'll find out.
Suppose we get started. Perhaps we all will find out something, huh?
Let's do that, shall we?
I'll set him up, sir.
All right. Sit down.
All set, sir.
Go ahead. After you check his answers, I'll watch the screen for images.
Yes.
Muzak, I want you to concentrate. Concentrate on the questions I'll ask you. Who are you? Exactly who are you?
No reaction there, Commander.
He's fighting it, sir. You won't be able to hold out long.
Where do you come from? What did your home planet look like? Concentrate on your home planet. Think. Your home planet. Concentrate. What does it look like?
Smoking rockets, Commander. Nobody's ever been able to beat the brainograph before. Nobody.
His powers of concentration are amazing. It's impossible. Hold your rockets, mister. Where do you think you're going?
I'm tired of being amused. I'm leaving.
Guess again.
Please correct me if I am wrong, but you cannot hold me without sufficient reason. There has been no crime committed. You have no evidence against me. So I'm, able and permitted to leave. Am I not, Commander?
Yes, you can go.
Oh, Commander, I still think you should visit your doctor.
Well, Commander, isn't there any way we can hold this guy?
Not legally, but we can follow him.
I'll take care of that.
No, Robbie. You stay here with Happy. Whatever you do, don't let him out of your sight.
Well, Commander, you still think I'm in danger?
More than ever.
Smoking rockets, Major. I must be off my orbit somewhere.
You're not alone, Happy. We're following the same course.
Oh, well, I suppose the Commander will figure out something before too long.
Huh? Hey, wait a minute. Where do you think you're going?
Well, just out to get a drink of water.
Look, I don't know the reason for this. I don't care, but you're not getting out of my sight. You can get a drink of water later.
Hey, Major, wait a minute. You can't keep an eye on me from out there. Huh?
I could have sworn there was a fire out there.
Happy. Where's Happy?
I don't know, sir. There was a fire. At least I thought there was right out there in the corridor. I ran out. When I came back in, Hap was gone.
I should have anticipated it.
Anticipated what?
You, Robbie, you're seeing images too.
Oh, great.
Why? Because Muzak is a telepathist.
A telepathist? You mean he's projected those images into our thought?
Yes. He's an expert at mental discipline. That's how he managed to beat our brainograph.
Well, where did he come from? Telepathy isn't practiced in the United Planets?
He just answered your question.
An alien.
Yes, a visitor from another system. I'm sure he's responsible for Happy's disappearance.
Yeah, that figures. What's his motive, anyway?
I think we'll find out that on Mars.
Mars? Why there?
Just a minute ago, coming down the corridor, I was presented with another image. This time, the red planet, Mars. I expect Muzak will let us know.
Another image?
Undoubtedly.
It's leading us right into a trap.
Yes, but that won't stop us from following him.
Sure won't. He's got Happy. alien ship.
Oh, matches the image perfectly. Ship will find Happy in there, bound and gagged in an empty compartment, just like the other image I saw.
How do we get in?
Here anyway.
I think we're going to have plenty of time to find out. I have a hunch we're going to take a trip to a distant star system.
Maybe not. Remember a long time ago we ran into a race of telepathists?
Sure, I remember. And you used telepathy to communicate with them.
He says something about mental discipline and concentration. Oh, Muzak's cutting the relays. He's going to raise ship.
Not if I can help it.
From Haiti, land of the voodoo, comes the most infamous cult of all. Bela Lugosi as Murder Legendre.
I see death.
Master of the undead damned. The sinister power behind the white zombie.
Zombies? Yes. They are my servants.
This soul killer takes men from their graves to be his slaves. His instruments of terror, and now this fiend plots to possess a woman.
Only a pinpoint, a silver mark, in a glass of wine, or perhaps a flower.
Keep it, monsieur. Keep it. You may change your mind. Not dead. Are you mad? I saw her die. The doctor signed a certificate. I saw them bury her.
Captive in the borderland between life and death. Her brain drained of the life spark. The white zombie obeys the unholy commands of her demon master. As mindless creatures carry out his cursed will, terror explodes in horror and heartquake.
Zombie! Allez, allez!
Never eyes so evil, never powers so potent, never magic so black. Bela Dracula Lugosi as the master of the white zombie.
and happily the ship. I'll take care of Muzak.
Yes,
Right, Muzak, I'll give you a choice. You can take this ship and go back to your own system, or you can stay here in the custody of the Space Patrol.
You did it, huh? I saw the image clearly.
Your choice.
I will go back to my own people, of course. I was convinced that you were quite an inferior race, that you would make excellent specimens, but I was mistaken.
All right, you're free to go.
I still will take one sample of his life back to his knee. Out!
All right, Muzak. I think it's about time you went back to your own system with some new ideas about our people. So I backed up the timer on his automatic pilot to delay his takeoff long enough for me to get off the ship. I bet he's going to wonder how he got home.
Commander, I don't understand how you got Muzak to come back into the compartment so we could get our hands on him.
Oh, I projected an image of us leaving the compartment.
Oh. I wonder if I could project an image.
Hey, Hop, you better not try it. You'll get a headache.
Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll project an image. I know. This whole compartment's on fire. It's on fire. The whole compartment is burning. It's on fire. Burning. Where's the fire?
Where is it?
Fire? Fire? What fire? You mean you got the image I projected about this compartment being on fire?
No.
Huh?
No, we were just outside the door and we heard you talking to yourself about it.
Stand by for a preview of next week's exciting action, immediately following this important message for all you space patrollers. Presenting the Vanishing Kid from Kokomo. You'd look at him 1 minute and he'd be there. But when you'd look again, he wouldn't be there. Trouble? He didn't like his cereal. Then his mom served Rice Chex, the super cereal that helps to supercharge you. Well, 1 minute he was there, and then the next minute, he was still there.
You betcha. I really go for this Rice Chex.
And look, at basketball that day, he made the winning point, because he was supercharged with a power breakfast.
Get supercharged yourself, gang. Just get the super cereal that helps to supercharge you.
It's got Buzz Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside and the magic space picture on the inside. Rice Chex. And now, a scene from next week's exciting adventure, The Space Doctor.
But, Commander, I wonder why they don't answer.
I don't know, but if Dr. Taylor isn't aboard that dispensary ship, Happy, I'm afraid we've lost the battle to save Carol's life.
Be sure to see what happens when Buzz and Happy are in deep space searching in vain for the Space Doctor next week on Space Patrol. Special bulletin for boys and girls in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and Knoxville, Tennessee. Buzz Corey's own space battle cruiser, the Ralston Rocket, will be in your area next week. Don't miss it, the Ralston Rocket.
And so, Commander Buzz Corey thwarts the invasion of the evil telepathical aliens through grit, know-how, and high-fiber breakfast cereal. Ha ha! What a guy. And now, my lords and ladies, we'll take one further step into the beyond with another one step beyond. further step into the beyond with another one step beyond. Yeah, that's right. It sounds confusing, but it's right.
Do you love horror, science fiction, B-movies, horror hosts, old-time radio, just plain spooky stuff? Then you should sign up at patreon.com/Lord Blood-Rah. You'll be supporting the production of Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Theater, presenting the best, worst, and wildest horror films ever made. Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Auditorium, featuring the best of old-time radio horror. Captain Paxar's Star Cadet Hour, showing classic 1950s sci-fi shows for Star Cadets of all ages. Plus, you'll get exclusive access to bonus content like Behind the Curtains of the Wrackin Auditorium, a deep dive into radio horror. Lord Blood-Rah's B-movie reviews, a look at a classic low-budget drive-in feature, and much more. Sign up today at patreon.com/Lord Blood-Rah for the love of horror.
Alone in a graveyard at midnight. This is Louis Moffat, a freshman at State College of Medicine, on his way to fulfill a fraternity hazing assignment, a victim of fear.
I'm studying medicine not because Dad was a doctor, but because, well, I feel I have the qualifications that'll make a good doctor. For instance, I'm not afraid of any of it. I'm not afraid of the blood or the corpses or the operations.
Mr. John Doe left this world with one possession on him, a gold ring.
Here displaying false courage to the amazement of his fellow students.
Hey, why all the curiosity? Oh, I just wondered if Lou's assignment was as weird as mine.
Weird? Yeah, I guess that is the word for it. Weird.
We dare you to see the picture that Hollywood was afraid to exhibit. And the slithering hand came forth. Could life have endured therein?
And now, my lords and ladies, our final episode of the evening. From One Step Beyond, we have a good old-fashioned ghost story about a New England home that does not take kindly to its new owners. My lords and ladies, from One Step Beyond comes the tale, The Captain's Guest.
Have you ever had the feeling that you knew what someone was going to say just before he said it? Or have you ever walked into a strange room and had the sensation that you'd been there before? Well, if you have, you've taken a small step beyond. New England, a favorite American vacation land, specializing in codfish, and the legends of witches and their broomsticks, fresh lobster, and haunted houses. Haunted houses? Well, there are many sane and sensible people hereabouts who will swear to you that this house still shelters the unquiet and restless dead. At any rate, if any ghostly inhabitants do dwell within these walls, they've certainly had the place to themselves for a very long time. We are told that we're more likely to find evidences of ghostly inhabitants in the upper regions. Well, all old houses creak and groan, aren't they? Now, look at this. This is perfectly solid wood and plaster. If there's anything more to it than this, we'll have to look further. The attic is a likely place to begin. No inanimate object can have a personality, we are told. But we forget. For example, We look at a house, we say that it's cheerful, melancholy, gloomy. Now, what we're doing, of course, is simply describing our own reactions. There are some cases, however, which seem to defy this handy explanation. On the New England coast, even today, there are certain houses which can be classified only as unfriendly.
Now, that's more like it. That's what I've been talking about.
How do you know it's for rent?
Well, let's find out. Come on. Come on. Will you come on? That's locked.
Well, of course it's locked.
Oh, isn't that marvelous, huh? I bet that's almost 200 years old.
Andy, let's look someplace else.
Look someplace else, honey. This is it. This is what we've been dreaming about. Yeah, I can't see a thing.
Honey, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go in.
Andy, you'll get us arrested.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
Andy, we really shouldn't be doing
Will
this.
you stop? Well, this place really looks lived in, doesn't it? Now, what is that?
Andy, let's go.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Will you look at those columns?
Andy, look at this. Captain Michael Clausen, 1860 to 1902. Hey, wake up.
Oh, this is really something, isn't it?
You like it very much, don't you?
Like it? I love it. Don't you?
Well, of course.
All right, then let's take it, huh? Hope we're not disturbing your game.
Well, you are.
Look, we're interested in renting a house. Do you handle that sort of thing?
Do and I don't.
What's that supposed to mean?
I do when there's houses to rent and don't when they ain't. Right now, they ain't.
What about that two-story job on Cape Ann Road?
You mean the Clausen house?
You know it?
Yeah, I know it.
Well, the place is empty. We thought it might be for rent.
I wouldn't fool with it.
Why not?
It's an unfriendly house, ma'am. It don't like people.
But it is for rent.
Yeah.
How much?
$500 a month.
$500? Listen, I happen to be an architect. Now, I know a little bit about houses. That's a good house, but don't you think that's a little steep?
Take it or leave it.
Well, you must do a land office business, Mr. Leach.
What if we decide to take it?
Your concern, not mine.
Well, let's talk business then.
You don't go to house.
What?
Don't go to house. Bad.
not a happy place.
Yeah, well, we'll make it a happy place. Oh. Just hold it a minute, will you?
Oh, don't be silly, Andy. We've been married 6 years.
Yeah, never really been alone yet. Now, isn't that why we came here? Hmm? Come on. Well, it's ours. Boy, I'll get more work done here than I ever did in New York. Hold it. Wait a minute. Don't ruin it. Let's do it right. Top to bottom. What's the matter?
Nothing.
Well, if you want to back out, you can. I haven't signed the lease yet.
Oh, don't be silly. It'll be fun cleaning all this up. Give me something to do while you're working on your plans. It's a challenge, all right. And I accept. Hey, I wonder what's in here.
Get away.
What?
Get away from there.
Andy,
You have no right to look.
Andy, what's wrong? Don't you feel well?
What? I don't know. I feel kind of strange, maybe. Maybe it's the sea air.
Why'd you get so upset about the trunk? I was just going to look inside.
You know what?
Honey, maybe you're right. Maybe we shouldn't rent this place after all.
Don't be silly. You're not going to let the place scare you because it's a little dark and spooky, are you? Hmm? There, that's better. I'll go downstairs, see if I can find a lamp.
The Diary of Elsbeth Clausen, 1899. March 5, 1899. Michael went hunting again today. August 1st, 1899. Michael spends most of his time these days in the field, hunting. He shouldn't. It only makes his leg that much worse. And when he returned, he was limping badly. Also, there was blood on his hands. I did not like the way he looked at me. His face was flushed, and his eyes burned. He is jealous of Gideon, so many years his friend.
What you got?
Nothing, just an old book.
Forget it. Come on. Let's take a look at the rest of the place. too many rooms in your life? What are we going to do with all those beds?
What's the matter?
It was like somebody shoved a knife right in my leg. Oh, I never felt anything like that in my life. Phew. Like it took my breath away.
Yeah, you know, I'm not feeling too well myself. I got a stabbing pain right here, and I'm kind of nauseous. I got a headache, and vision's kind of blurry. I got a ringing in my ears. You know what that means, don't you? Commercial's coming.
That it could happen in America. That it could happen now. That it could ever happen to me. Another murder tonight. At Watergate. My apartment.
You must issue the order that he be taken alive.
But the moon hasn't risen yet. Put a guard on me.
Brought you some lunch. You haven't eaten a thing all day. Please try.
You're being very solicitous.
I'm worried about you.
I'm sure you are. Wait a minute. What is this?
Chicken soup.
Looks thick, looks rich. Come here. Come here. Isn't it strange that a man can thrive for years on rum and biscuits and then grow weak and sickly on his wife's cooking. Isn't that strange?
Everything you say is strange. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, of course not.
Aren't you going to eat?
It's a different food I need.
What do you mean?
Nothing. Take it away. I'm not hungry.
I wish you wouldn't do that.
Do what?
Drink the way you've been doing lately. Andy, listen to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's my fault, but something's terribly wrong with us. We came here to be together, and we've never been so far apart. Never.
You'd like to leave here, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
Why?
Because we're not happy here.
You're not. That's quite understandable. You miss New York, don't you?
That isn't it.
No, not exactly. You miss something, someone.
Andy, I don't follow.
Bill, my esteemed partner.
What?
He kept you from being lonely in New York, didn't he? Why don't you stop pretending? Do you imagine for one moment I didn't know what was going on from the beginning?
That's a dreadful thing to say.
Hasn't been pleasant for you, has it, being locked up here with me, away from him?
I don't know what you mean.
You know exactly what I mean, Elspeth.
Elspeth? You called me Elspeth.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Andy, I'm so frightened. I'm so frightened. Let's pack up and get out of here right now.
No, we'll stay.
Mr. Leach?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Ellen Courtney. We rented a house from you several months ago.
Yes, ma'am. I remember. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm not sure. May I sit down, please?
Well, of course, Right here. Now.
I thought perhaps you might tell me something.
Like what?
About the house.
Yes, ma'am. I know what you mean. I expected you a long time before this. It was built in 1801 by a man by the name of Silas Clausen. He left it to his son, Michael. Michael was a sea captain, and a good one, so they say. But he was mean. Mean. Killed a lot of his men. Finally, a crew mutinied, and they keel-hauled him.
What does that mean?
Drug him back and forth across the bottom of his boat. Barnacles chewed him up pretty bad, I guess. Near tore off his right leg. After that, he was different. When the mutineers was all hung, he retired from the sea.
Was he married?
He was.
What was her name?
Elspeth.
And what happened to her?
Don't you know, Mrs. Courtney?
Assume the position and open your minds wide. It's time for your
Cranial Cavity Search. Yes, my lords and ladies, the Cranial Cavity Search. Here's a chance for you great geeks out there to prove your geek cred by showing what you know. And tonight's Cranial Cavity Search question is, Which science fiction TV series featured a spaceship called the Spindrift? A. Logan's Run. B. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. C. Land of the Giants. Or D. Lost in Space. A short question this week, my lords and ladies, and the answer will follow after these long, long, long commercials.
Old Time Radio Horror. Experience the subtle magic of old-time radio horror every week with Lord Blood-Rah's nerve-wracking auditorium, chilling audio nightmares from radio classics like Lights Out, The Witch's Tale, Dark Fantasy, and many more. Available on YouTube and most podcast providers. Lord Blood-Rah's nerve-wracking auditorium. Please leave your eyes at the door. You will not need them.
And the answer to tonight's cranial cavity search question. Which sci-fi TV series featured a spaceship called the Spindrift? It was C. Land of the Giants. Land of the Giants was a TV show from the late 1960s from the producer of Lost in Space and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Irwin Allen. It was about a group of passengers aboard the suborbital transport ship, the Spindrift, who drift through a space warp and end up on an Earth-like planet inhabited by giants. The show ran 2 seasons until the biggest giant of all, the network, crushed it. But now, my lords and ladies, on to the conclusion of One Step Beyond's The Captain's Guest, as the captain makes his presence known.
Where's the master?
He's out hunting.
Andy? Oh, you're kidding. He's never hunted in his life.
Never before now.
That was a pretty mysterious telegram, Ellen. Why didn't you call me up?
Andy had the phone taken out.
Why?
Ever since we moved into this house, Andy's been different.
How?
He's changed into another person, a person I've never seen before. And neither of you. Bill, you wouldn't recognize him. He gets into moods. He hardly even talks to me, and when he does, I don't know who he is.
Well, he's never had any time to himself before. This is a pretty tough adjustment to make, Ellen.
Look. He sits at this board all day long and draws things.
It looks like part of an old sailing vessel.
There's something else I'd like you to see.
Andy. How are you? Ellen told me you were out slaughtering the local wildlife. I couldn't believe it. Well, there are no letters. I tried to call you. I had a feeling you were trying to keep something from me.
You don't like me to keep things from you, do you?
Well, it all depends.
You came here for a reason? Get to the point.
All right. I'm kind of swamped at the office, and I thought maybe you might want to help.
Help yourself, Gideon, you always have.
Gideon? Andy, I came here because Ellen wired me. She was worried about you.
Why don't you say what you mean, Gideon?
Why do you keep calling me that?
Why don't you drop this pose? Admit you came here for Elsbeth.
I'm afraid you're going to have to make yourself clear.
Gladly. I accuse you of consorting with Elsbeth, my wife.
Consorting?
You have betrayed me and lied to me enough. Now get out of here.
Andy!
Get out! Go on, get out! Get out!
Oh, Bill.
I should have killed you both.
Andy, you're sick.
Yes, I'm sick of your deceits and your lies. Sick of them all, Elsbeth.
I'm not Elspeth. I'm not Elspeth. Don't turn him over. Don't look at his face.
Oh, my God. What's wrong?
Old Mr. Leach, the real estate agent, would tell you that Andrew Courtney was possessed or taken over by the dead sea captain, whose tormented presence, or ghost, lived on in the ancient house. Once the house was destroyed, the captain was destroyed, and Andrew was restored to himself. It's not an entirely satisfactory explanation, is it? But it's the best we can do right now. In a moment, a word about next week. Next week, and every week, we'll be bringing you the personal records of the rarest kind of human experience. Man's adventure in the world of the unknown, that mysterious psychic world beyond our five senses. This is your invitation to take with us that astonishing one step beyond.
And so, my lords and ladies, ends another journey into the thrills and chills of TV shows gone by. And it's a trip I'm sure we're going to take again. But now, my lords and ladies, I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to invite you all back again next week when we'll do whatever this is all over again. As always, I am Lord Blood-Rah saying, geek out.